to be like, I want him like to say something. Just, I don't know. What's the thing that you say Dr. Austin says?
Do the thing that is the thing
you're supposed to do. Do the thing that is the thing that you're supposed to do.
No, it's that you need to do.
Wait, say it together. 1, 2, 3.
Do the thing that is the thing you're supposed to do.
Okay. Yay.
Hi, my name is Giovanni Gotay, and I'm 18 years old, and I've been dancing for 6 years now.
My name is Fernando Trinidad III. I'm 18 years old and I've been dancing for 9 years now.
My name is Immanuel Rodriguez. I am 17 years old and I've been dancing for 9 years now.
Oh, tell me first about your dance experience and what's led you up to where you are now.
So I always just like danced around the house or at parties, but it was never formal. It was just like just flipping around and stuff. And I only did sports, so track, baseball, basketball. And then when my season ended for baseball, my mom had nowhere else to put me, and my sister was in dance, so she just threw me in class with her. And that's how I started dancing hip hop. And then from there, I just started taking a new class each year, and I worked my way up to where I am now.
So I was more of an athletic kid at first. When I first got introduced to dance, I was already so into basketball, your traditional sports. I was always doing soccer for 6 years, and then I got introduced to dance, and I was like, oh, hip hop, and that was all I knew. I thought dance was hip hop, and then after that, I started going to a dance studio after a couple of years, and that's when I first got introduced to other technical, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much more to dance than just hip hop.
What is the greatest lesson you've learned from being a dancer, you think?
I've learned how to be selfless in dance, because it's not always about me or about the main subject in the dance. It always changes. So dance is not always one person. It's a company. So we're always moving together.
5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Dance has created us a way of seeing community. I understand it way more now because of dance.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that every company, every business needs their hands and legs to reach places that you can.
I dance to inspire because I feel like I've been inspired through it, so I want to be able to give that back to people by inspiring others as well. And I think it's also just a creative platform that we're able to express and think freely through our movement as well.
So I dance now because it's a different way to express myself. I don't usually talk, I just laugh and smile at things. So when I'm dancing, I get to perform and show different types of expressions. And going from sports to a dancer, I was a short kid or whatever, but I was fast and I switched it into being the little kid who can jump high.
The big issue was the gender, male or the different, you have to be gay dancer if you're a guy dancer, that was very stereotypical when I first went into dance.
Male dancers have a very strong presence in the dance force. It needs to be acknowledged just the way it is, that men are men, and that it doesn't have to be tweaked or downgraded because we are in an industry full of women. We both have our strengths and weaknesses, and together we make something beautiful.
I think the more I matured in it, the more I segregated myself from that and didn't evolve myself in that, because I knew myself as an artist, and I didn't let things like that interfere with me anymore.
I feel like the biggest challenge is learning from a male. I have a male hip hop teacher, but in ballet I had one in my lifetime ever, but he moved away to teach somewhere else. So I've only learned from females. So it's kind of hard to dance as a male when you're only taught by females.
Right.
So the movement could come off as feminine. If someone were to say something to me, it's I don't know how to do it unless I try to teach myself.
I think another thing is also building that community sense. I think that's one thing that we kind of lack in, but it's because there's so few of us. But getting that sense of community.
Now
One thing I would say is that for male dancers, that it takes just as much training, just as much strength, just as much practice. Even in like watching a performance, like when I see a male dancer, I'm not like wondering about like all these other stereotypes. I'm like, okay, I'm enjoying them as an artist. That this took creative time, this took practice, work, you know, and that there was effort put into this and there's heart or passion behind it as well.
We're all artists. That just because we're men and they're like women doesn't make us different. I feel like we're all the same and we all want the same thing.
One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. 1, 2, 3.
Do you have any male artists or dancers that inspire you? Or any
Yes.
artist?
The male ballet teacher I was talking about, Philip Cartman. My hip hop teacher now, Manuel Cuevas. My 2 fellow classmates, Givanni Gotay and Immanuel Rodriguez.
One of them that I know, his name is Romero, Patterson. He is crazy, and I've always had this image of him like being this like super strong male dancer, and I was like, whoa, he's like that's the only male dancer that I knew growing up, so I was like, that's crazy.
I have a childhood photo of when I first met Steffanina. He was the one that kind of got me into the hip hop dance world because he was the only one at the time that did tutorials. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, free dance classes. I don't have to go to pay. Woo!
James Whiteside, he's a ballet dancer. His lines, his everything, he's just crazy.
That was definitely a first big outlet for me, and then I think as I evolved and stuff like that, I know when I got into musicals and saw dancers in them, people like Alex Wong, that really inspired me to, you know, I could also be a dancer in theater.
Another thing I wanted to say is that I'm very grateful for my brother because he's the one that brought me to dance. A lot of things just wouldn't be possible without that opportunity, and I'm grateful that my brother saw something in me before I saw something in myself.
Oh, I brought this trophy. It's the first place from LCS Festival 2016. This is the same year that I got into OCSA. So I got this during January, and I was still contemplating whether or not to audition for OCSA. You know, I was just like doubting myself and like why I was dancing and all that. Then came the summer, and I was like, if I don't do it, I'll never find out if I'm good enough. Come February after the competition, we found out the results, and I got this award, and I was like, okay, maybe I have some kind of like future. So I went for it, and then that fall I got into OCSA, so that's fun.
This was my very first dance competition that I ever did with my crew, MK crew. When we got this, I remember this was just kind of like the start, I guess I would say, like the eye-opener that I do have I do love doing this art craft. And the other thing I have is my very first ballet shoe I ever bought. I only have one, I couldn't find the other. I remember this was the first start of my journey at OCSA because this is when I first got into technique. And the first time I ever had to find out about those different styles, and they're like, yeah, you wear ballet shoes. I said, what is that?
I brought a water bottle. So I got this my 7th grade year of being at OCSA. Each like class I would fill it up just so I can like drink it all after like working hard, just to fill it up again, to drink it all after working, to fill it up. And this, it's not because the water bottle, but it's like a representation of how hard I wanted to work to grow. Because after that, I earned different types of awards, like most improved student at my studio. I won a national award for this convention that I attend. And then like I just continue pushing and pushing for more so that I'm not in the same spot.
And what's anything that you wish that you could say to anyone who feels like they don't belong in the dance room?
Dancing, just like movement, is constantly changing, so you have to be open to the change and know that change is also good. When you see that improvement happen over time, you look back and you really notice the growth, but you know, you have to be open to it at first.
Patience is key. You have to work for what you want. Everything isn't like guaranteed. So you just have to wait, and if you really want it, it'll come over time.
I would say growth happens in a very, very silent place. You don't need everyone to see you to know that you're growing or you're going somewhere. A lot of success happens behind closed doors.
Nice. That was so good. And that's it. Anything else you need to add or?
Nothing. Thank you.
Yeah.